So let me begin by saying hello, everyone, and welcome to Ibi Speaks. My name is Ibi, and March is a month I have dedicated to women, and I am continuing with my self-empowerment series. The series is about helping you rediscover yourself so that you can gain financial freedom, or rather so that you can gain the freedom to live your best life. And so far, I've had guests speak on two topics. I've had guests speak on Woman, You're Worth It, and coping with the loss of a child. And if you missed any of these episodes, please, you can watch them on my YouTube channel, Ibi. My guests, spoke from the heart, and I think that there's a lot that we can learn. So this episode is the third installment of the self-empowerment series, and the topic is woman, and of course, man, grow your financial capacity. So it's about, so for me, I think that this episode is about, listen, that if you want to learn some smart money decisions, you can apply right now to give you some financial leverage, then you have to stay tuned. If you want some out of the box tips on how you can leverage your finances, stay tuned. And if you want to go from having nothing to having more than enough, also stay tuned. So I have three incredible women who will take us on this financial journey, and I'll just introduce them to you right away. So my first guest is Gladys Dokubo, referred to as the Moneypreneur. And she's a financial planner and advisor with 20 years of experience in the banking industry, notably in wealth management, private banking, branch management, business development, relationship management, and client management. She's the creator of Money Matter, a financial literacy community where she teaches financial planning and related matters. She holds a master's degree in financial management and is an associate member of the Retail Banking Academy, London. My second guest is Joyce Olagere. She is a qualified lawyer with an MBA from the University of Durham, UK, a certified project management professional with 15 years experience in project management, IT programs across a broad spectrum of industries, including investment banking, oil and gas, and telecoms. And Joyce is the CEO of the wealth platform TWP, aimed to bring professionals and people from different walks of life together to achieve their goals, be it wellness or wealth goals. And my final guest is the last but not the least. She is my mentor, and she is Clara Rufai, and she's also known as the Shine Strategist. She's a corporate lawyer, a compliance professional with an MBA, and has over 30 years of work experience. She's currently the senior legal and compliant manager in a prestigious alternative investment company. And she is and besides that, she's an author, a public speaker, a book consultant, a storyteller, a coach, a mentor, and a recipient of multiple awards. She's the editor-in-chief of Shine magazine, president and founder of the Shine Factor. So I want to thank everyone who's just joining us today. Thank you. And some of us have been waiting here, and thank you for waiting. You're waiting patiently, so thank you. And I just want to say that I'm appreciative for all of you. I have guests, I have viewers from all over the world. I am highly appreciative of it. I'm not taking it for granted. And listen, and I want to thank everyone who subscribed to my YouTube channel, Ibi. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe. And so I also have very interesting reads on my website. It used to be onewomanity.com, but I've changed it to ibinaboenabi.com. So just check it out. I have guest writers and myself, and we write on various topics. So that would be nice for you to check out as well. Now, you can be a part of this conversation. Please, I want you to be a part of this conversation. If you have any questions, please feel free to type the questions on the comment box. And then if you have questions that are personal and private, and you don't want everybody to know that you're asking them, then ask them directly to me in my private chat, and I will read it out so that my guests can answer it. So ladies, welcome.
Thank you very much. Welcome,
Oh,
everybody.
I'm so delighted.
Good evening, Ibi.
Oh, good evening, Tony. Tony, you have to put your that's my friend Tony from India. Tony, you have to put your phone on mute so that it doesn't interfere. But listen, I'm very happy, I'm delighted, and I'm super excited. So first, I want to ask a question that I think, well, let me just say this. So let's start with some financial literacy exercise here. And among my audience, I have, as a broad spectrum or broad spectra, I have young people just starting life, working class people that have worked, for years, people who are getting ready for retirement, and people who are in retirement. So in this audience, my darling speakers, I would have quite, I have people from different levels of life. So based on that, I want us to talk about some of the mistakes that we make and how we can consciously, or what we can consciously do to avoid them. And that question is open to everybody, but I want Gladys to start. Gladys?
Hello, everyone. Hi. Good evening, everyone. I'm really honored to be on this platform. Thank you very much, Ibi. And hello to my sisters, Clara and Joyce. It's a pleasure, being here with you. Yes, just as Ibi said, we have a broad spectrum of people on the platform. And when you look at the individual and finance, the starting point is always a plan. Do you have a financial plan? You understand? What is your plan? A plan is not something that, you think about it, it's in your head, you understand, but I'll get to it someday. A plan is when you have put it down in writing. Those of us of the Christian faith, you make the vision plain. You write it out and you begin to follow it step by step. You begin to execute it, irrespective of where you are, your age, or where you find yourself in society. It's important to start off with a plan. Now, when we're looking at a financial plan, we look at various things. We look at different things that come up. First thing is, for those of you, like if we look at the age bracket, if we break down the demographic, we look at the age bracket. For those of us that are upcoming, there are various things we want to look at, there are various things we want to do. How do you want money to work for you? How do you want money to, you understand, meet your needs? What are those things? You need to begin to look at it. Now you can start from the angle of investment banking, get into various investment options. When we look at investment banking, we look at the risk appetite. And that is a different ballgame. If we begin to go into investment banking, we'll leave here today. Because you look at the risk, you look at the age, you look at so many things. Some people like to take risks. Some people will say, look, I'm going to go 100%. Some people don't like to take risks. So know yourself in that area before you get into any investment option. If you're the person that likes to stay safe, stay safe. If you're the person who likes to stretch yourself, stretch yourself. But you should understand where you are in life, you understand? And then we move on to something. I'm going to jump a bit. I'm going to talk about retirement planning. Because if we look at, the age, when do you really begin to plan for retirement? The honest truth is you start from beginning to plan for retirement. But we have a situation where a lot of us, I inclusive, we never really plan for retirement. Sometimes we just think, the job will continue. Yeah, I'm going to resign. Yes, maybe in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years. But the honest truth is anything can come up. Like I was listening to the news, was it yesterday or so? And this cruise liner, 800 people were fired just like that on social media. They didn't even know they were going to be, asked to leave. They were just asked to leave like that. And there was a lot of uproar, the parliament was talking about it, and they kept asking hours before then, is it that the company has become bankrupt? What is the issue? And they said nothing until they just told everybody to go home. So things happen when we least expect. Sometimes critical illness can come in and play into this. I was somebody like that. I became ill and I had to stop working. I just had to stop working. And in a flash, my life just went before me. And it was like, am I ever going to, be on my feet again? Can I do the things that I used to do? You begin to have a total lifestyle change. And so you need to think about retirement, you understand? And then we take it to another level. How do you save your assets? How do you protect yourself? That's where we have risk planning, where you have your insurance. We insure our cars, we insure our phones, some people insure their shoes, some people insure their clothes. But you as an individual, have you insured yourself? Do you have an insurance in place? There's so many insurance companies all over the world, here in the UK, Nigeria, everywhere. There are insurance companies. Do you have an insurance for yourself? You're working. Do you know the various kinds of insurance that accrue to you as an employee of an organization? You need to know things like that. Now, still talking about protecting yourself. The last one, when you talk about it, most times like, no, don't go to that subject. We're talking of your estate planning, where you have your will, you have your trust, you have your foundations, you understand? And estate planning, when you look at that, it talks about the totality of what you have. The glasses, my glasses is my property. And it will amaze you when push comes to shove, when those things that happen. When we go for those permanent meetings, it will amaze you the things people fight over. They will fight over the wristwatch. They will quarrel over this. They will quarrel over that. We have had prominent families just disappear from the face of the earth because the patriarch or the matriarch of the family, having worked for so many years, having worked for so long, did not ensure at the end that the work will continue or the legacy will continue. There was no will in place. So when we're looking at, the area of finances, these are the things we look at. Why? Because you couldn't have worked for like some 50 years, some 25 years, and then everything will disappear all of a sudden. You need to protect yourself. You need to get yourself ready. And most above, you want to continue to live a certain lifestyle. It's painful to have spent 30 years on a job and you were living a kind of lifestyle and you just realize when you retire, everything just goes downhill. There needs to be a plan. That's why I said, before you start any financial journey, there should be a plan. You must understand where you are so that you can project to get to where you want to be. So over to you, Ibi.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. I was actually responding to Joyce's message here. Sorry, Joyce's text here, and of course, it resonated with her she was thinking, what I was thinking, and the life insurance thing that you said just touched me. But I think that, we would go back to that, because I want us to drill a bit deeper into that conversation. But before we go back into that, I want to know if Joyce or Clara have any response to the question to say that what are the, money mistakes that we make and how can we avoid them?
Okay, I can jump in if I may, Clara.
Yeah.
Can I go ahead? All right, thank you so much, Gladys. And I was noting there as you were explaining about financial planning and all the likes, I completely agree with what you said. And thank you so much, Ivy, for inviting me on your platform. I'm delighted to be here to share a little bit and just discuss with women. We're all, having a discussion tonight, and I hope in a very relaxed environment. So thank you, everybody. So life insurance is absolutely key. Yes, I can see someone.
Joyce, sorry to cut you short. Joyce, I think your volume is a bit low, so please just check it out. Yeah, and because I don't.
All right. Is it any better?
You're perfect.
All right, awesome. Yeah, so I can definitely resonate with what Gladys said. So I'm going to just give a few examples without drilling into deep, because you said what are the common mistakes, money mistakes that we women often make. I'll start right at the top, keeping money in the bank. Keeping money in the bank is my first one, and that's.
I was going to ask that.
It's
that's one of my questions, Joyce.
Yes, keeping money. You have a question about that. We'll come back to it then. But keeping money in the bank in the last, I don't know how many years, but in the last several years, I think it's a huge mistake. I'll just touch it. We'll drill deeper later with your question, because inflation eroded the value of that money. The time value of money is important. If you know about compound interest, think about the opposite effect when you have money in the bank. So that's number one mistake, because I know people who keep hundreds of thousands of pounds or tens of thousands of pounds or naira, as the case may be, in the bank account. That money a year later is worth a lot less. So that's one huge mistake, because you think you're saving. Actually, you should be investing, not saving and keeping money in the bank. So that's number one mistake. Thinking. Number two, most people think they need huge amounts of money to start a business, and to me, that's a huge mistake. We live in a different era now, and that used to be something I used to think about. And number one, I used to do that as well. So every mistake I'm mentioning, I probably have done all of them. So I've done number one, but I don't do that anymore. Number two, thinking you need a huge amount of money to start a business. I used to also think that until I started my actual business, which I realized I didn't need a huge amount of money to start a business that could actually make me thousands of pounds or millions of pounds. And there are so many other businesses apart from the one I'm involved in that people can do, that you don't need huge amounts of money to actually start, because we live in a digital age, and there's so many things. I'm sure we'll talk about that later as well. Not having a written budget is another common mistake, because yes, you can have a budget in your head, you think you know what you're spending, what's going out, what's coming in, but not actually writing it down to calculate your income into the T and the outgoing to the T is a common mistake, because you think you're not in deficit, but sometimes you might end up in deficit because you've not taken the time to itemize each bill that comes in, plus the ad hoc expenses that would often happen, especially if you're from the African descent, and there are lots of ad hoc expenses that crop up that you don't necessarily plan for. So you also have to plan for contingency on a monthly basis. Not starting to save at any age, but especially I'm talking to the younger ones now. If you have time on your side, if you're less than 30, that means you have a lot of time on your side. Start to save, and even if it's £10 a month, you'd be amazed. I listened to a program the other day, and the guy talked about saving £100 a month for your child at an X amount of age, about 50 something. They're millionaires, even if they did nothing. Just imagine that. I have a 3-year-old, and I thought, wow, that's interesting. My child will be a millionaire because I'm going to implement what I've learned so far from that. And you know, there's so many things. So just the fact of compound interest, starting to save from a young age is so important. Not in the bank. So when we talk about this, it's not necessarily in the bank. Going to number one point I made, because you have to put it into a fund where your money can go to work for you while you're sleeping. Making financial commitments above our means. I'm sure a lot of people, a lot of us can maybe resonate with this one. That's necessarily not living within your means. So if you're going to buy things that you don't need, or just living above your earnings or whatever, making commitments, just making commitments that are beyond your income, and that's another common mistake that lots of people make. And another one I want to, I'm sure there are many more, but my last one, and perhaps one of the ones that I really resonate with, is not having a plan B. Just relying on one source of income. That's another common mistake. I think, Gladys, you mentioned this when you were talking earlier, that you lost a job at some point. A lot of us, I am a contractor in the UK, I'm an IT consultant, like you said, Ibi. I've been in between contracts for a few months, and my husband too, were in the same sector, so he's an IT consultant. So you can imagine, if you just have one source of income in the house and that goes, with the pandemic, this affected a lot of people who were in very secure roles, and then the pandemic happened without any notice, and I was a victim of that as well. Without any notice during the pandemic, the contract that was supposed to projects all had to be paused without much notice. So if you have only one sort of income, for me, that's a huge mistake and a no-no. But I'm sure we'll talk about lots of people, you know, how to, you know, navigate this and be financially empowered at the end of this discussion. Those are some of my points. Thank you. Back to you, Clara.
Very, very, very well said.
Fantastic.
Like, I was nodding when you were talking, Joyce, because you literally hit the ball out of the park. You've mentioned so many of the common mistakes that we make. So not to, you know, rehash what you've just said and what Gladys also shared, I want to talk about one of the mistakes, which is not recognizing that time is a resource. That time is a finite resource. And as a result, that leads us to the folly of exchanging time for money, forgetting that the older you get, the less able you're going to be to do the 9-to-5 or the job or the career, whether you like it or not. Even if you feel there's still fight left in you, there is a statutory age at which you have to retire. And so what happens then if you think you have all the time in the world? Oh, that's not an immediate thing that I need to worry about. I'll come to it. You know, there's just so many things that I need to be, taken care of right now. And so not realizing that time is a resource, it's a finite resource, and you cannot be solely in the business of exchanging your time for money. Because I sit every day, I've worked for about 30 something years in employment. And I keep thinking every day, these days especially, I think about it and I said, who decides what my time is worth? The truth is, somebody who is in paid employment, my boss, my employer, my chairman decides what my time is worth. And he doesn't know the half of it. My time is way more than what he's paying me for, right? So once we recognize as women, men, that, our time is invaluable, our time is a resource, then you become more careful with it, you become more circumspect with it, and you want to then, engage in activities, engage in either the plan B that Joyce spoke about, which is, multiple income streams, different things happening along different trajectories, not just the one thing, but you also recognize that you can't stay static. You have to always be, as Joyce said, checking, keeping the tab on what's coming in versus what's going out, and just all of those, things. And of course, as women, I think Joyce hinted on that as well. Yesterday, we were chatting amongst ourselves, and we talked about how, as women, some of us wear our money in our earlobes. Some of us wear our money in gold, wear our money as Louboutin shoes. All that's good. Life is for the living, but you've got to, make a plan for that rainy day. And I'm big on living legacy. I'm sure we'll talk about all that as we progress, but I'm big on living legacy, and it takes a whole lot of planning and a whole lot of, intuition to build a legacy that will be here long after you're gone. And as mothers, as women, I know that that's something that's dear to our hearts.
Wow. Listen, I've been taking notes like I always take notes. So, and that brings me, I don't know, I think that some of us have watched this program, The Smart Money Woman. When I watched that program, that film, I think it was a series on Netflix, I learned so much. And a lot of us are just, just talking about this whole idea of, the importance of having a plan B. And Clara, you took the word out of my mouth. We're wearing our money on our body, So we have a lot of money that are going now. So we've made a lot of, bad money choices. But then I want us to come back to real practical terms. So we've looked at the problems that we have. We've looked at the mistakes that we make. And let me just see this question, because I wrote it down and I want to say it in a way that I want to say it. So the New York Times reports that within days, Russia's war on Ukraine squeezes the global economy. The price of energy has already shot higher, and the conflict imperils supply chains, factors that exacerbates inflation and suppress growth. So in real terms, the impact is felt in the increase in electricity tariffs, the cost of the food on our supermarket shelves is gone high, the interest rates are going up, the taxes are also going up. So this pinch can be felt everywhere in every corner of the globe. So now, in the face of all of these things, what I want to do now is to awaken our financial consciousness so that we can survive what's coming, just coming at us. So what I want to say is this. So we've talked about all the technicalities and, the mistakes that we make. So I want us to drill down now to the solutions. So there's somebody who's listening to me right now. What can they do to look within themselves to help them to at least, have some financial, leverage just right now, just even looking in their houses and looking within themselves? Because I know that people are crying, there's no money. And, you just said, Clara, that people are wearing money on their bodies. So what can we do right now to just even give us that extra cash that we need? What creative things can we do?
Can I take that? Can I answer that? Or let me contribute to that?
Do that.
Yesterday we talked about the fact of keeping your eyes on the goal. Now, I like what Joy said, listing out the common mistakes, and Clara talking about the fact that as women, most of us wear our money on ourselves. Now, the question is, somebody will say, what's wrong in buying jewelry? What's wrong in buying shoes? What's wrong in this? What's wrong in that? But we find ourselves, we're still going to go back to the smart money woman. We find ourselves in debt. We find ourselves in a lot of problems. And our starting point actually is from within us, is from ourselves. Like I was saying, when we had the pre-brief yesterday, and we made mention of the fact that you purchase something, yeah, this is a solution for somebody out there. Check your wardrobe, check the things you have. What is it that you don't need? What is it that you feel you can dispose of? And to be honest with yourself, what are the things that you bought, not out of a need, but out of a want? Out of, everybody is wearing a Louis Vuitton. So I'm in a Christian Louis Vuitton, yeah. I need to get a Louis Vuitton. The red soles, when you sit down, you cross your leg, everybody's seeing the red soles of your shoes, you understand? You need to now begin to break it down. The thing is, dispose of these things. There's nothing that cannot be sold. Everything you own has monetary value. It's just that they have different values, you understand, concerning it. There are platforms that you can go and dispose of these things. Here in England, you have Vinted, which is the most common one. And there's so many others. If you check around online, wherever you are in the world, you find out that there's one platform where you can take picture of your stuff and you can, sell it. Or the way the Americans go, they do a yard sale. They take things out in front of their house, and they sell it, and they try to raise money for whatever they need. Maybe a house renovation, maybe it's holiday, maybe money for you to reinvest into something else. But start from within yourself. Begin to, break it down. Do I need this or do I want this? And begin to should I say declutter or shed off some weight? Some of us are very heavy. Shed off some weight, become light. Money is called currency because it's a flow. You understand? Money is not static. It is energy. It is a flow. And so you need to become light and need to go with the flow. And so release yourself from the burden. Throw it off. Sell whatever you can sell. You understand? And then also look into some other business ideas. Think inwards. Joyce said it, multiple streams of income. Clara also said it, not focused on one particular business. And to be honest, that is where a lot of us kill ourselves. We're so focused on that 9 to 5. We're so focused on that thing that we don't even remember there's a big wide world outside that we can gain and do so many other things. Look around you. You find out that some of us are fantastic cooks. Which food can you cook? The story of Colonel Sanders, Kentucky Fried Chicken. He started making his money when he was about, I think, 62 or thereabout. Everything he tried to do was going downhill. Then he remembered just at the last moment, I can make chicken. And that was it. So I need to allow my other beautiful queens to talk. So I'm just going to stop here. But I know we're still going to come back to this particular mystic because it's something that we really need to look at.
We will come back to it. So Clara?
Yeah. Oh. Sorry, I was just taking a drink of water. So yeah, I totally buy into what Gladys had said. And in addition, obviously, I think we've talked about, as you said, the mistakes and how can we right those mistakes. I just want to start by saying that it's never too late. That's the one thing. So cut yourself loose from saying, oh, I'm in my 50s, I'm almost 50, I'm 51 or 52. It's never too late. When you wake up, in Africa, we have a saying that when you wake up, now your morning, right? Now your morning, so, and I'm part of a business where whether it's morning, afternoon, night, midnight, we always say good morning, because we believe that, morning brings with it, newness and a lot of promise and all of that. So I would say it's never too late. I would say that mindset is very important. Mindset is something I'm big about, right? If you don't believe you can, you won't. If you don't even see the need to do it, you won't. So the mindset is important. The why is important. Why do you think it's a good idea to, to form good money habits? Or why do you think you want to, first and foremost, are you convinced within yourself that you want to be financially free? Because some of us look like we are happy to just do our 9 to 5 until we retire and that's it. But if you want to really live life to the full, and I do believe that everybody has bigger goals that we want to achieve, right? Apart from the bread and butter, putting bread on the table, paying the car note, mortgage, and all of that, we have bigger dreams. A lot of people that I've come across want to make a difference. Not just in their lives, but in the lives of their immediate community, their family, and things like that. So if you're like me, or if you're like majority of people in the world, you want to make those bigger goals, bigger dreams come true. The truth of the matter is, no matter how much you get paid, you're never going to have enough to be able to make a change. You're never going to be able to make that ripple effect that will bring about change. Mindset is critical, and it's important for you to realize that you are somebody's rescue, just as somebody else might be a rescue. So for me, I am big on empowerment, so that I'm big on not just traveling along the path that I know will take me to the achievement of my bigger goals, but I'm big on encouraging everybody around me to do the same. So if I see an opportunity, I will be the first to stand on treetops and shout about it. You can say no to the opportunity, but I will definitely share it. So mindset, having your why do you want to be financially free? I'm passionate, for instance, I've set a goal for myself that in the next 5 years, I must have resigned from my day job, right? From my 9 to 5, because my day job takes the most, if you like, the most productive hours of my day. Because you resume at 9 o'clock, you finish at, if you're lucky, 5 or 6, and that's it. The day is gone. Yes, you can, if you have a dream job versus a day job, you can work in the night, but my day job takes the bulk of my time. So I've decided that the way forward is for me to work towards that, escaping or resigning that day job in the next 2 to 5 years. And then you have to have a plan. Just as you have a goal for what you want to achieve, you have to have a plan, and you have to be focused on that plan. These things are so critically important, because we don't lack information in the world. We live in the information age, and there's a lot of people saying and selling different things on the internet. So sometimes you have to know what's for you. You have to know what to throw into the dustbin of life. You have to know what to take forward and implement. So for me, it is key for you to recognize that you're on your own journey. The path you choose to follow towards financial freedom may not be somebody else's path, but don't let anything distract you or dissuade you from the path that you have decided to follow. So having a goal, having a plan, understanding your why. How big is your why? How strong is it? How compelling is it? For me, my why is very strong. I'm in my 50s, my kids are still young. And as far as I'm concerned, I must see that, I have set something in place. I've put something in place for my children in my lifetime. I'm not even leaving it to a will. I want to see that. It's almost like writing a living will. So for me, legacy is important. Touching the bigger world is important. Making sure that my family, not just my immediate family, and I come from a very huge network of, cousins, family, and all of that. And I want to help as many people as possible. So my passion is in empowering others as I empower myself. So find out what your why is, have a goal, have a plan, be resolute, follow that plan to the letter. Don't let anybody distract you, regardless of what the naysayers may say, because they will always tell you why you shouldn't be doing this, why this is beneath you, or why that is above you, and all of that. So that's just, what I wanted to leave there. That mindset is critical in all of these things. So I'll leave it there. I know I have something to add.
Fantastic, Clara. And Joyce?
Thank you, Ivy, and thanks, sisters Gladys and Clara. Amazing nuggets you've shared so far. I'll just chip in my 2 cents to the discussion. What can women do? And in addition to what my co-panelists have said, what can we do? I want to look at it from this angle. Can we pay all the rising bills that you mentioned at the top, Ivy? You talked about the inflation rate. Last I heard, I think it was just yesterday, a couple of days ago, inflation rate is at 8% already, and the Bank of England have put up, I think in the UK, so they put up the base rate. So what that translates to is our mortgages are going up Rentals are going up every day. When I look at my
Energy bills.
British gas,
energy
I
bills.
have a
Energy
meter at
bill.
home. By 12 o'clock, it's already like £5. I'm like, wow. Before the end of the day, this thing is
What's
just
going on?
going up every by the minute and all. The fuel pump is a different topic. The minute you go one day is £1 something, 50 something. The next time is £1 something. You're thinking, wow, within a space of just 2 weeks, 20p a liter has already been added to the cost of fuel. So the bills just keep going up, and the bills are countless. And guess what? Our national insurance is also going to go up. I understand that the government are planning to increase our national insurance contributions. If you live in the UK, you know what your NI means. So if you're in Nigeria, that might not really apply to you. But I know that the cost of living in Nigeria is also going up. Gas prices are going up right there, and food prices are through the roof. Everything is more expensive. Housing and all of that. Inflation back in Nigeria is quite crazy. So everywhere you might be, I think inflation is going to affect each and every one of us. So what that means is that the value of our money is less. So we still have the pay might go up by 1 or 2%, whereas the bills are rising by 8, 10, 20%. So that means your main source of income or primary source of income is not keeping up with the rate of inflation. So something has to happen, something has to give. And that's why we're here tonight, to just look at it and talk about it as women, as sisters, to see how we can help each other, to look at practical things that you can implement right after this meeting, not even from, let's say, a month's time or whatever. From this moment, you can actually start to think about or implement some of the ideas that we're going to share. So for me, like I mentioned, I'm really big on multiple sources of income, because I believe that just having one source of income is not going to be enough to keep up with the rising cost of living month by month, year by year. Everything is going through the roof. So you have to think, what other things can you be doing? So I will just share a few thoughts of what you can be doing in addition to either your main business or your main work that you already do. You can start by monetizing your talent. I just want to add to what Gladys said. She said everyone has a talent. Is it that you can cook or you can sew or whatever? And we're living in a day where the knowledge, well, it's like a knowledge economy. If you know how to do something,
I love that.
Somebody
economy, I love that.
I've learned so much from YouTube. If there is a recipe I'm not even quite sure about, just put into Google or go into YouTube. In fact, you can almost do anything on YouTube these days. So, and guess what? People are making a killing from showcasing their talent. What is it that they know? Because somebody is out there looking for that and they don't know how to do it. You can actually share your knowledge and your expertise on YouTube and get paid in that. You could do drop shipping, where you don't have to spend a single time, you don't have to keep inventory. Drop shipping means somebody else is selling something, you market that. All you need to do is market it on your own platform. And guess what? You have free platforms like Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and you can market things without having to leave your house. You don't have to hold the stock. You get buyers for this thing. You buy from the retailer and you send it directly to the person who's purchased it from you. And you pack up and a profit from them without leaving your house, without holding stock, without investing a dime, apart from just your time of marketing that product. How cool is that? And guess what? People are making a killing from drop shipping. So that's something that you can do, and you can learn how to market, because there are a lot of free training on YouTube. You can learn how to drop, even if you don't know what it is today. Trust me, if you spend the next how many hours looking into it, you can actually start drop shipping on Monday. Because all you have to do, you have free platform, set it up, look for the supplier, start looking for buyers, start marketing different products. You can try this, try that, and before you know it, you might find a market there for you. You can make your money work for you. There's some people, their problem is not even making more sources of income, because they already have maybe 3 or 4 businesses. They can afford to buy those fancy,
making it work for them,
and bad. They can afford the luxury lifestyle, but they just want to make their money work for them. And the same is for me.
Oh my gosh, this noise is getting to me.
The legacy that you want to leave the next generation when you're gone, those close to your loved ones, are they catered for? And you also want to be thinking about how you can make that money that is sitting in your bank account. Perhaps you have 100K or 2 million, 10 million, however that money is, work with you. Put it into a fund. You can look into Vanguard, an investment platform. I just mentioned the Vanguard. That's one I'm looking into personally. Look into it. What you can do is put your money, look at different assets you can invest. You can even put put your money into equities across the world without investing into a particular company, you would hedge your bets. And guess what? Over time, looking at long-term or medium-term investments, guess what? You can make up to 500% returns if you find a good fund for your money. Your money will be working hard for you and working hard for your children. So that's something that if you have money sitting in the bank, you can be looking into. There are lots of mutual funds out there, or different investing in stock exchanges and things like that that can make a huge return for you over time. Then there's real estate. You don't even need money to start a real estate business. You can rent to rent. You can go into Airbnb without spending too much of your own money right there. You rent a property, it up, and you can start to rent it out as Airbnb or room by room basis. So you can even go into multiple house of occupation, rent a 3-bedroom, do it up and rent out a room at a time. And if you live in a country like the UK, I know this is not applicable elsewhere, but you can even rent out a spare room. You can have a spare room and rent out to a vetted individual, and the money you get from that extra room can go towards clearing some of your household bills. So that's extra you right there. And you can use social media in so many ways, or you can do what I do. You can leverage the one I'm into, the business I do as well. One of the business I do is leverage my daily household expenditure and turn that into an investing business, a business investment.
So we'll talk about that.
I'm not going into detail. I'm just talking about that's one avenue that you can leveraging your household.
She's already talked about investment planning 101. You have just finished investment planning.
So listen, you ladies, what you've just done, you've just picked into my questions and you have just answered all my questions. Thank you very much. But the chat box is hot.
The
chat box is on fire. So what I'm going to do is this, right? So Joyce, your volume was a little bit low. So I just want to read out what you've said on the box. It says, monetize your talents, drop shipping, learn from YouTube. So, and let your money work for you. What legacy do you want to leave for your children? Look into equities, bonds, and long-term investment opportunities. Real estate, multiple occupancy, and leverage daily household expenses and stuff like that. So now what I also want us to do is, I know that everybody is like, wow. But if you have questions, do you have any direct questions for my beautiful ladies? They are professionals. Please write your questions and so that they can answer. Now, the next thing I wanted to ask you was this, and Joyce touched on it. I wanted to ask that to Iwari, to Gladys. And guys, please bear with me. This pinging sound is annoying me. I'm trying to sort it out, but I don't want to now go there and scatter everything. So bear with me. I'm just a little bit agitated by it, but it's fine. So now we've talked about, and you touched on it, Joyce, but I wanted Iwari to talk about it because I was on one of your shows that you talked on Money Matter, and you gave us specific things that we could do that I thought was very helpful. So we have a lot of monies, a lot of people, a lot of men, women have monies sitting in their bank accounts gathering dust. What things can they do? What options do they have? Specifically, because listen, we have young people, we have retiree people. So just bring it down a little bit and talk it so that they can understand you. I want to cater to all my audience.
Okay, like Joyce said, like I said, Joyce has just helped me. She just finished investment planning in a go, and I'm so happy. So she's made it easy. But there's something she said that I need us to pick up on. You talked about the Russian-Ukrainian war. We talked about inflation, all that. And the issue is, since COVID-19 started, a lot of things have been thrown out of sync. And the honest truth is, it won't come back to what it was before again. And now, when we now talk about money sitting in the bank, looking at inflation, you find out that Joyce said it also, time value of money is very important. Now you have, maybe I have £5 is sitting in a savings account. What interest rate am I getting on that savings account? To be honest, for current accounts, you get 0. You don't get paid anything. You understand? In banking, actually, your current account, you actually have to In Nigeria, you have to pay COT and some other things like that, you know? So the question now is, that money sitting there, if you had left £100 in your account 1 year ago, when we look at inflation and other things that tend to come into play, you won't have £100 as of today. You just might have £80 sitting there, or you might have 80 naira or $80 or what have you. So that is where we now, Joyce also talked about it, searching out other platforms that can give you high returns on your money.
So we want to know those.
Sorry?
We want to know those.
I was a banker, and I will give you an example of somebody. She got her inheritance, and we were watching, and for like 2 weeks, quite a huge amount was sitting in her account. If you're a banker, don't do it. I took the risk without asking her, but I took the risk, and I invested that money. I put it into a fixed deposit for her. And she came, oh, you touched my money, I know. And I said, yes, I know I did. I didn't ask you, but I calculated it for her. I said, your money sat in your current account for 2 weeks. And if that money from the day you brought it in, you had invested it, this is what you would have gotten. She screamed. She said, what? Nobody has ever done what you've done for me. Nobody has spoken to me till you got to that desk. And that was a relationship for a lifetime. And she was like, please always advise me so that my money can work for me. And she became one of my best clients, one of the best. She brought business. She brought so many things till I left. You understand? So the thing is, you need to seek out what really suits you. Information is the new currency of our age. Yes. Information is key, it's critical.
Yeah.
Everything is driven by information. The stock market is driven by information. The FX market is driven by information. The slightest thing, I remember watching the stock market, global stock market, when the Brexit thing happened. In less than 24 hours, the market crashed, went up, went down, it scattered everywhere. You understand? So many things happen like that. So our world is information driven. We're in the 4th industrial revolution. Everything now is information, technology, historicals, the future. That's why you have various options. You have investment options such as futures, you understand? Something that you invest today and getting whatever, you know, in the future, or you lock it down today against a future. Joyce talked about mutual funds. That is one of the best, because for me, it is one of the best because you have your interest compounded. So you can put your money in a mutual fund and you can go easy. It's something you can go in and out. You need to understand the various aspects of these, you know, investment platforms. A fixed deposit is different. A banker's acceptance is different. A mutual fund is different. A commercial paper is different. Real estate, that is another place that you can never go wrong. Yeah, Joyce is just saying it. Index funds, there's so much. Like she said, look for a good, should I say investment manager? Joyce is an investment banker. I'm selling your you know, but look for a good investment platform and ask questions. You need to know. Because sometimes they'll say, oh, I went on Ibi Speaks and they talked about ABC without doing their research. Do what you know you can understand. Ask questions. Like yesterday when we were
Who would you ask? Who would you ask?
Ask questions. Get into, you go on platforms, you understand, there are a lot of free webinars coming up. I've seen quite a number concerning real estate and I'm really interested in it. There's so many of it. You just, when you're on YouTube, you will see them popping up, even on Instagram, especially on YouTube. I've been seeing it on Facebook. I've been seeing it for real estate. Get into one of these classes. You understand? Don't be shy. Ask the questions. If it's the ones that you can go physically, now a lot of things are done on Zoom and what have you, but do ask the questions. Ask your friends in the financial circle. Ask. You're never wrong in asking. Don't think, oh, I'm too old to ask, or I'm too young to ask. If anybody wants to laugh, let the person laugh. You are the one that needs the information. You know where you're going to. Like the go-to word that I picked up yesterday is keep your eyes on the ball, keep your eyes on the price. You understand? There's so many of them. I could give you so many of them. You get my.
Can you give us, please?
Like there, I don't even know where to start from. But one place I can say you can start from is start from your local bank.
Oh, good. That's what I wanted you to say last.
Start from your local bank. Your money is sitting in a savings account or a current account. Ask them, what other investment options are there available for me? You find out that banks have these options also. If the bank doesn't have them, they have partners that they work with that they can refer you to. Ask them.
Absolutely.
Some of them have products that have.
Sorry, Gladys.
No,
I was going to jump in and say, absolutely, with regards to the bank, rather than a normal savings account, you could actually have your money in an ISA if you live in like the UK.
Yes.
So it's with your bank, but it would be in an ISA, and an ISA means that you don't have to pay tax on your interest, and at least you can have an investment ISA where your money is put into equities and bonds and things like that.
And bonds, yeah.
The money will work hard and generate a profit that the government can't even take, because in the UK, tax on your money in the bank, and which the interest is zero anyway. So
zero
is a good place. And the other platforms like Harvard, Lansdowne, and Bank that I've just mentioned, where they have a myriad of investment options that you can look into. But
options for you, yes. So start from your
local
local bank.
The ISA. What else?
I think she listed them on the
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
So start from there. So they can give you, they will direct you, you understand? Ask them the questions. Because some of them already have these things sitting with them there. You have accounts that are not like your regular savings account. It's not like your regular current account. They're hybrid accounts. They go in between. Ask them questions. That's your starting point. You understand? You have friends in the investment circle. Ask them the questions. The thing is, start off, I would always advise you, you find out that some of us just go headlong straight into it without getting the fine details. Get the fine details, plan, pace yourself, and get into it. You understand? So you have a starting point. We all have money in the bank, no matter how small. Start there. Start with that. You go on YouTube, you see this, ask the questions. You find out that the person sitting near you, the person might not have a car, the person might be renting a house, but the person is sitting on a huge investment portfolio, and you're wondering, you understand, how did it happen? Why? Because some of us have just driven into technology, into the new currency, which is information, and they're just running with it, especially the young people. You find out that a lot of the young people are so savvy. You're sitting down, you're gisting with somebody, the person is on his or her phone, they're actually probably trading FX, or they're doing Bitcoins, or they're doing crypto, something, they're doing something, or they're selling. Like my 18-year-old nephew, he has his line, everything, and he's selling phone accessories. And the day he gave me a price for iPhone, I almost fainted, and I got up and I'm like, excuse me, is that how much you're selling your products? And he said, yes. And people are buying it. You understand? So just dive into it. For each, like she talked about drop shipping. I know I've done a course shipping things from China to Nigeria. I remember I paid and I got into it. I paid like 5,000, that's how much in pounds. And I got into it because I just wanted to know what was happening there. And it's like, oh, really, this is how it works. Because you think about information and think about knowledge, you don't know when you would need it. You don't know when it would come into play. Just something would trigger something and you just remember, yes, I caught this. Like I've said it, I'm interested in real estate and I'm going to go into it. There's some of us that are interested in, all I know how to do is buy and sell. If it's buy and sell, get into it. You understand? Like I always struggle with, the networking thing, but thank God for Clara and Joyce yesterday. I will say it with all pleasure. They changed my perspective. I just realized it was all about a focus on brand change. And that's something what we call in the retail space, the switching cost. You understand? How much will it cost me to change from Colgate to Aquafresh? That was it. That was, for me, that was the click that I needed. And it's like, hey, this thing is not so bad. You understand? It's not frightening, because it's like, how many people will I talk to? Come and join, come on. That was how I always saw network marketing. I can give you another one, insurance. For a long time, I just felt insurance was like, for a finance person, it's like, continue, just keep talking. No problem. I remember there was this young boy coming to my office for over 2 years. He would stand at my door, Madam, you have to get insurance. Madam, you have to get insurance. And I'm like, child, don't you have any other thing to do? But I remember walking into a training, and for the first time, a South African lady talked about insurance. It made sense immediately. There and then in that class, I asked for forms and I filled out an insurance form. And that was it for me. The thing is, what you don't understand, it poses a problem. Knowledge is the key. Once you're clear, you understand. Ask the questions. The mistake I made over the years is I didn't ask the questions that were bothering me. I just bottled it to myself. Hence, I felt I can't do network marketing. All this way people are talking. Let me just be doing my finance thing and be good. You understand? I'm doing my
Gladys, you see this chat box. I don't know whether I should leave the chat box or whether I should join new people. I don't know what I'm doing. But wait a minute, I just want to check something. I just want to check. There's some important information inside this place. Wait a second. Ladies, just wait 1 second. Joyce, no, you have not finished. I'm coming back to you. You've not finished. So Joyce said something here. Joyce had, or someone says, Ibi, forget about the distractions. We're getting nuggets. Thank you so much. The distractions is driving me crazy. So we talk about mutual funds is one big one. Yes. We have index funds, we have ISAs, and then there's something that Joyce said. Joyce gave us some of the platforms for what's it now? Joyce, can you call out the platforms?
I can. So you have Vanguard. So Vanguard is one platform that you can invest with. You have Hargreaves Lansdowne, and you have AJ Bell. I'm saying those specifically for the UK because I'm not very familiar with it, but this is worldwide anyway, but I don't know whether it applies to Nigeria. I would imagine so, because you can change your Naira to dollars and actually also invest, and it's even better because of the currency.
Hedging your funds,
depreciation and all of that. Is even better to invest in dollars as opposed to the Naira.
In a higher currency.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. So, and what's that again? That's the index fund, is it?
Just to chip into what Joyce has said, for the Nigerian market, because I played in it for quite a while, for the Nigerian market, you can actually, I know of companies that you can actually invest in dollars also. You can do a fund, an index fund or what have you in dollars. You have quite a number of them. You have the Stanbic IBTC funds. They have quite a range. You have the ARM. They have quite a range. You have First Bank, you have EcoBank, you have EDC. There's so many of them. They have quite a range and they cut across board. You have that. They have various, they even have some specialized just for women. They have some at a particular age. You know, you have all of those things. You have fixed income funds. There's so many of them. The thing is, just look around. And even in Nigeria, when you open the newspapers, you actually see them. If you go to some newspapers, you see them, they list them out, the various funds under the financial section, you will see listed out. Yes, you will see the Coral Fund, this one, that one, it's all there. And some of them have been around for over 20, 25 years, and they're still going strong. You understand? Real estate, you can never go wrong with real estate. No, you can never. Especially a place like Nigeria, worldwide, but a place like Nigeria, you cannot go, if you don't know anywhere else to put your money, just go into real estate. Go into real estate.
No matter how little,
rather than have your money sitting in the bank, because trust me, the money that you have in January, let's say you have 10 million in January in Nigeria is even worse in terms of inflation compared to the UK where really, or America or elsewhere where people might be. You leave money in the bank in January, by December,
devalued, completely devalued.
It's devalued
So
completely.
it's ridiculous. A land
And
that
so,
a real estate property that you might have looked at is 10 million for that land. By the time you get to December, that same
it's
property,
20 million.
yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
It's 20 million.
Ladies, listen, this chat box, but let me just read this thing, just 1 second here. Now, someone says you can never go wrong with real estate, brick and mortar, fantastic. And someone says, please, someone says, can you please explain the index fund thing again? And another person wants you to explain the drop shipping.
Okay. So the index fund, Gladys is our Moneypreneur expert, but index fund, as far as I understand it, that's what I'm looking into, is you're able to trade, you're investing in equities or even bonds and things like that without even buying into a single company. So there are different index funds. You can do the one that tracks the FTSE 100, which is the UK 100 biggest company. You can look at the America S&P and all of that. So you can track developed countries, or you can track all world. So there are different funds. So they're index funds. They are tracking exchanges across the world, and there are different types. So you look at the risk appetite. Some have a mixture of equities and bonds, and some just have equities. So if your risk ratio, like you mentioned earlier, is higher, or you have a longer term horizon. For me, I always like to, if I'm investing in things like that, I always look long term, 15 years and above, because like we're talking about yesterday, you have to send your money on different errands. So if I'm looking at a long sum on retirement, I'll be looking at
Send your money on errand.
Investing in equities, so that money in 10-15 years time, I'll be compounding the interest that comes. So since they pay whatever amount they pay you, you put it back into the fund over time, and you keep adding incremental. Even if it's £100 a month, you'll be surprised at what £100 a month over 15 years would be for you. You have a tidy lump sum just by putting money, £100 a month into an index fund. And if you can't even do it for yourself, do it for your child. Do it for your children.
Absolutely.
Yes, do it for your children.
Now, we have to have a part two. Now, wait, let me just talk about there's Kemi Anima Shaun here, and she's a financial expert. And Kemi, do you mind sharing some of your expertise in financial planning? Thank you.
We can't hear you yet, but I'm sure Ken will be coming on board now.
Okay, so while we're waiting for her, someone wants to know about the dropshipping? Okay, Kemi, yeah, we can hear you.
Can hear you.
All right, good evening. Sorry, I was using my AirPods to switch. Okay, so I was just going to say that the pension, so thank you for the opportunity. It's good to share and it's good to learn as well. What I was just going to say as well is most of us, I find out that most of us don't have a pension simply because we don't know the importance. But it's something that we should all look into, because Joyce, a lot of people have mentioned investing long term. And with pension, you're investing long term, and it's also very tax efficient. So I won't go deep into it, but if you do not have a personal pension, it's something that you should look to put in place. And also this helps towards retirement planning. But I'll go back to Clara's comment about being a protection advisor. So I'm a protection advisor, and I help clients with their insurance, the mortgage, and then slowly into wealth, pensions, and investment. But in financial planning, protection is the bedrock of financial planning.
Thank you.
With protection. So if you do not understand the importance of protection, you need to spare some time to put this in place. Every protection advisor offers a free consultation, because when you sit in front of a financial advisor, if you sit in front of them for insurance, you're not paying the advisor a penny.
Yes.
When you're sitting in front of them for a mortgage, yes, you would pay, because they're going to go out and look for the best deals out there. When you sit in front of them for your investment pensions, you will pay something. So a lot of people run away from even sitting in front of an advisor because they think they will charge them. So I'm pleased to let you know tonight that sitting in front of an advisor to put your protection policies in place is absolutely free. No advisor will charge you for
money.
Nope, no advisor will charge you for that. So, because if you look at it, we have something we call the principle of financial security. And within that, we have what we call the principle of financial intelligence, where it helps you, structure your money. The first 10% we say goes to charity. So if you're a Christian, we talk about the tithes. Muslims, we talk about sadaqah, and then some just donate to, charity organizations on a regular basis. That's your first 10%. Then the next 10% is to take care of yourself. So, to do the things that you love, because most of us work very, very hard and we just worry about the bills, etc. 10% should be set aside to look after yourself. Do the things that you love while we're still young, healthy, etc. Then we said the next 10% minimum should be put towards savings and investment.
Yes.
Yes, we talk about savings and very little interest, but good financial planning says you should have about 6 months savings in emergency cash.
Emergency funds.
Yes. Yeah. So once you have 6 months savings in emergency funds, you're free to invest the rest. And when we say 10% minimum, you can do 50% if you could afford to, but ensure that on a regular basis, you're saving or investing. Then we say your outgoings should not be more than 65% of your income. So if your outgoings is more than 65% of your income, you need to review. You need to review. For example, you might be living in a 7-bedroom house and paying a huge mortgage, and that is taking 90% of your income. Why don't you downsize to a 4-bed that is enough? Because
shake up the weight.
You understand? So you rebalance to ensure that everybody wants to move. But the first thing, when you move, what is your mortgage? Can you afford it from your current income? And when you total everything, that comes to 95%. And within that 95%, you can structure it how you like. For example, savings and investment, we say minimum 10%. Outgoings, we say maximum 65%. Combined is 75%. How amazing would it be if you could do 37.5? That means you get to the point of financial security even quicker. And then there's this final 5%. In fact, some financial advisors will argue with me that it should be 10%. But how many people will even do the 5%, not talk of 10%? But guess what? That 5%, you should set it aside to protect yourself, your family, and your future. That 5% can give you financial security in the event that the unexpected happens. And we don't even talk about life insurance only. I'll round up in a second, because if you left me, I could talk for another hour.
Yeah, financial planner, so I understand. You would just go on, and I'm trying not to just talk on and on.
So not just your life insurance, because the life insurance looks after your family when you're no longer there, or when one is diagnosed. However, while we're still alive, we have something called the income protection. Think of everything you spend. Without an income, how would you pay your mortgage? How would you pay your rent? Exactly. How would you invest? How would you save? How would you even feed your family? We need to protect our income.
So how do we do that? How do we do that?
There are many different ways.
What did you say, Clara?
He says, how do you protect?
For people who don't know,
how do we do that?
Yeah, you can contact me for a free, and I emphasize the word free
advice.
Yes, I emphasize.
She did it for me. I can say she did it for me.
Thank you, Clara. Thank you for So we need to protect our income. Very, very key. And there's so many examples of people that didn't protect their income when something happened. They were running else's helter. And then also critical illness protection is also very key. No matter how small. Statistics say unfortunately, very, very, very sad, and it's getting worse by the day. Statistics say 1 in 2, unfortunately, will get cancer, in their lifetime. Wow. When I heard that, I was worried. Of course, we need to make sure that we're doing the right things health-wise, because that is another topic. but critical illness cover is also very, very key. And all these cost so little in the grand scheme of things, you know?
Yeah.
So as I say, and I'll round up, thank you for the opportunity to share. I love to share. I do this on a daily basis. I love helping people.
Thank you. I'd like to connect with you. I've been looking for other financial planners. I need to connect with you.
And Kemi, you're going to be on Ibi Speaks very soon, because we need to have this conversation. It's not over yet. I don't even think that, listen, I don't think we've done justice to this topic in the way that
I think we should come back.
I think we should come back. Yes, because I think that we need to, like, so now, Kemi, thank you so much. Thank you. I mean, this is so important, but then I want us to come back. Okay, so let's all come back. So I'm glad you touched on it. You touched on it, yeah. Now, listen, like I told you yesterday, like I was in conversation with some people at home, and they're like, there is hunger in the land. There is hunger. People are hungry. People that you've never expected to beg are begging. That's how bad things are. So my question is, and Gladys, you mentioned it, but I want us to shed some more light. So somebody is hungry. Some people, and Clara, you also said it, people are sitting on money. So what can we do to free ourselves to shed some of those lights? That's one. Two, what do we have in our hands? Because I remember a friend of mine was telling me that she has a very big compound, and she had coconuts and bananas and stuff like that. And she's farming. She actually, when things became very critical, she actually had to like sell those things to get money. So I'm thinking about creative solutions, critical thinking. You know, so how can people look inwards to at least get that money in the first place?
Okay, should I answer it? Are you
answer it, yes.
Okay. Like yes, I did. I think we all three of us touched on it, you know, at different times when we're talking. And I recall I talked about the fact that, what do you have in your hand?
Yeah.
My job as a moneypreneur is to awaken the consciousness in you that you have something. God has given each and every one of us a gift.
Okay.
I say a gift because you have more than one, but you find out that there's something that really stands out with you. You understand? Like this lady you're talking about, she looked around, she had land, and she had coconuts and things like that, and she started selling it. I'll give an example of somebody in my estate in Nigeria. When the pandemic, you know, the lockdown and everything, she's a teacher. I later on found out she was a teacher. And what she did was she just typed it out and went from house to house, told her children from house to house, this is a list of all the things we have. Bread, water, this, that, you know, it made it so easy because everywhere was locked down. If I needed to buy anything, I'll just go to house 6 and pick up what I needed. She looked inwards and she was able to, you understand, come out with something. What was the thing? How do I solve the problem for the people in the estate? Because to buy anything, you have to drive out. And if there's a lockdown due to a pandemic, we had soldiers everywhere. They will ask you, where are you going to? How do I solve the problem? Okay, I'll bring the solution to them in the house. We're not lacking anything. Biscuits, you name it. Drinks. I went to her house. Her kitchen was stocked to the brim. Her dining area, everywhere there were boxes. And then she told me, she's a teacher. And then later I found out that she was distributing food to secondary schools, you understand? And later I found out that she was doing so many other things. So the question as women, what do you have in your hand? That is the starting point. What is that Panadol headache? What's that thing that gives you headache? You wake up, you toss and turn in your bed. What is it? Yeah, I call it the Panadol question. What is that thing? There's something that makes you toss and turn in your bed. What is it? You need to address it. You understand? And in addressing it, you discover yourself. Like I said, some of us can cook.
Okay.
Some of us can talk. Some of us can make clothes. Some of us know how to arrange things. Some of us, you understand, we know how to clean so well. What is it that is in your hand? you find out that thing that some of us just overlook is actually the thing that might be your anchor when the storms are raging. You find out that all of a sudden I can make moi moi, and I can carry this moi moi, carry it nicely to church. And after church is like, hey guys, anybody hungry? Come and taste my moi moi. And before you know it, Auntie Ibi, didn't you bring moi moi this Sunday? What's going on? And before you know, a business has started. You understand?
Can I just chip in Ibi right
income.
Gladys, on that moment point. Funny you should say moi moi.
Moi moi is very good business in London.
I am telling you, there's nothing to overlook regarding business. And I don't know when you just mentioned that moi moi, I chuckled.
Yeah.
A few years ago, I heard about the story of the moi moi lady who was so broke at one point, but moi moi literally took her to the White House in America.
Yes, she took her to
the White House too. She went straight to the White House selling moi moi. And how did that happen? She was as broke, for those who haven't heard her story, who haven't heard for yourself, as broke, and her husband gave her, I think, 1,000 naira to cook. And she was thinking, what can I do? There's no food in the house at all. What can I do with this 1,000 naira? And then she decided to go and buy beans because that's one of the cheapest things that she could do. She could buy with 1,000 naira. She bought beans so that they could eat beans, they could eat akara, they could eat moi moi, so she could make beans into 3 different meals and keep going. She made moi moi, and sister-in-law visited, tasted the moi moi and said, oh, the moi moi was nice, ordered moi moi from her, and that was how that moi moi business went. She went to her—
Yes, I used to have the recording of her testimony.
Me too.
I think
love that testimony, and I shared it to my friends.
Yeah.
She went to her friends, her children's school to be selling moi moi. People looked down on her. Talking about people looking down on you when you're doing things, right? I'm in network marketing as my side hustle, and some people look down on that industry in quotes, but they looked down at children's school, right? But that same business took her to the— how many of us have been to the White House? How many people?
No, but it's true.
Started like that, turned into a different type of business.
A different thing.
Excelled at making moi moi. Just today, the person I bought African food from, I ordered some moi moi, dropped it up with me in the afternoon. I just said, oh, let me, because they said they changed vendors. I bought 10 pounds worth of moi moi. By the time we tasted it, we just promptly finished the 4 wraps of moi moi, and I ordered 5, because it was 2 pounds for one moi moi wrap. We ordered another set last night. This morning, my brother came and his wife, and that's next pack. And he asked me, your mom is simply— within one day, I ordered another set again.
Exactly.
How much is beans? Literally. And in one day, just since yesterday to today, I've ordered 10 pounds each time. So now my 3rd order in one day. There's nothing.
Fantastic. Fantastic. There's somebody here. There's somebody here. Sorry, guys. So sorry. There's somebody here who says for real estate in Lagos, contact Ifi. And she has a number there, so you can contact her. So Joyce, please continue.
No, absolutely. So I was just, going to chip in with what Gladys said, that there's nothing that is too common, that something that you might look at, that this is what you know how to do. Somebody else needs that. For me, it's time. I can make more, but I rather just quickly buy, because right now I'm choked for time. But so there are people who are selling agbalumo on Instagram. My friend ordered, for those who know agbalumo is sherry on Instagram. Can you imagine that? Common fruit, sherry. Ordering for Instagram.
It's not common, no. It's not common.
It's not common, no.
She's ordered fish.
You're pregnant that you don't see agbalumo.
So you can imagine.
I've never seen agbalumo, and I told my sister, because my sister likes, I said, guess what? I saw agbalumo today. I was so excited. So it was not.
Where you're pregnant? Where you're pregnant?
Is it agbalumo? Is it agbalumo, or should I go for this pear? This African pear, Ibi. Which one should I go for? Ibi. And I chatted Ibi. I chatted it. I'm like, yes. You understand? So, there's so many things.
There are people selling. You don't have to go to the market. Somebody can sit in London and actually order fish from Instagram in Nigeria, and they deliver it to your house.
Yeah.
Because you're going to the market, so it's another form of drop shipping. Because somebody was asking about drop shipping there. So
people want to know about the drop shipping as well. Then I have the final question after this one. See, Let me not keep. Okay, drop shipping, and then I answer the last one that someone just asked me to ask.
Let me just use that drop shipping example, or even the dry fish, because you don't have to stock the dry fish. It's an example. You market it. Just get pictures of dry fish, put it on your Instagram. You market it and market it. Somebody in a house in London fancies some dry fish. They order from you, pay to you. You go to the market. You take a fraction, maybe you charge whatever, £100, you go use £50 to buy. Guess what? You make a profit of £50 without having to stock the fish yourself, and just ship it promptly to your seller.
Straight to your
That's drop shipping, and it could apply to anything. It could be clothes, shoes, bags, whatever.
Anything.
Houses that you just market it on a free platform like Instagram, Facebook, eBay. You don't have to own stock. Amazon. There's affiliate marketing. There are all sorts of other things.
There are all sorts on these platforms. Honestly,
you have to spend money, your own money. All you need to do is go enhance your skills, learn how to market and how to sell. Social media, using the digital platform that are free.
It's free.
You can learn it. You can invest some time instead of watching maybe your favorite show or whatever. You can invest time into learning that skill, and voila,
learning the skill there. Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. Now, guys, this is brilliant. So for those of us who are not technical, who find some of this information a little bit over the head. So if you want to talk about investments and stuff like that, go to your bank. I had a guest one time, Bolande Shobowale, and she spoke so much about IBTC. So maybe you want to just check them out and see the kind of, plans that they have, because you see, because my target is I want to look after my listeners. So we've talked about everything. So where can they go? Where they have to go is very important to me. Now I have one more question. Oh, well, no, before that question, the drop shipping thing, somebody is interested in the drop shipping. So assuming my elder sister now is in Nigeria now, she's interested in drop shipping. She wants to know about drop shipping. How would she do it? What is it? Where would she go learn about drop shipping?
YouTube, Google. Google
Joyce just said it. Drop shipping.
YouTube.
Just Google it. For me, my favorite platform for learning is YouTube.
Yeah, me too.
What is drop shipping?
That's where I am.
That's why Ibi Speaks is on YouTube as well. Yeah. So YouTube. Another question is. Sorry, Joyce. Go ahead.
No.
I'm just time.
Put drop shipping, and by the time you listen to 5, 6, 7 videos, you will know what to do, and then you start to think about what appeals to you, what products resonate with you, and you test your audience. You know what your audience is like. What is it that they need? There are things that people are looking for. Hence, people who are selling specialist food and all of that. You can be in your house. Just look at what is around, what people need, and that you can actually.
And you can do some research around
it. Yes,
absolutely.
Perfect.
And before you know it, you're in business.
Okay, so let me just take this question. So somebody said,
Sorry, Ibi, I just want to add something critical. We always, as women, we are problem solvers. We are problem solvers by nature. You find out that people will your child will come, mommy, I have this. They will come up with everything, you understand? Because they believe mommy has the solution. You have a conversation, sometimes something is happening, your spouse, your husband will turn to you and, he's looking for that thing in you. You can solve my problem. You can just say one thing or one word or one sentence and it's like, boom, this is what I'm looking for. So as women, you are problem solvers. You are built to solve a problem. And around you, there are too many problems around us in today's world. It is staring at us in the face. And so you can solve a problem. It might be something within your reach, something like you have to do the drop shipping for, something that you put in your car and you drive out to church, or maybe the football practice of your child. And it's like, hey, I have water here. And the way you package your water, you understand? You come with it and it's like, oh, she brings the water. It's summer and it's already cold. We don't need to look for ice. Just begin to dig in to that ability to solve a problem. Drive into it's there, it's in you. You can solve the problem. You'll be amazed when you start thinking, okay, what is it that I can do? You start writing it down, you start ticking it off. You find out that you can do so much. I just realized, thank God for University of YouTube, I just realized that I could use baked beans to cook something fantastic. And I cooked it and it was like, hey, yeah. I mean, it was like
Okay. If my ladies, we're not going to come up for here today. Now, somebody says here that was asking the question that she joined the session late, and that is it only about buying and selling? No, we talked about other financial things. We talked about mutual funds. We talked about investments. We talked about, making your money work for you. And guys, if this is your first time of joining me today, my name is Ibi Enebi. I have a YouTube channel. It's called Ibi Enebi. Please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, kindly, please subscribe. Now, Kemi Anima Shaun says, for those in the UK, please feel free to reach out to me on 07, one second, where's the number? Let me see. So where's the number? On 07, 85, what am I pressing again now? 0785 144 533 for free insurance review sessions. This what is it called now? This chat box is on fire. Look, I can't even keep up. I cannot keep up. So now somebody asked me a question. Oh yes, and then in case you missed it, listen, you can watch it on YouTube, and you're going to have the program on YouTube. So you can just quickly even go back to my YouTube channel and watch it. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, somebody asked a question, and she was very much interested in using your household to leveraging on your because Farah, you mentioned it, leveraging on, with your household purchases. So what's that all about, Farah?
This is what Joyce and myself and quite a number of the 63 people on this team do, because I see many of our leaders here. And what it is a lot of us are actually business people, career people, professionals, and all of that. We recognize the value of multiple income streams, diversifying our income. So even though we're career people, we have our side hustle, as do many people. And so what we do basically is leveraging daily use items, things like your soap, your cream, your toothpaste that you would normally use, your daily use items that you would normally buy month to month or week to week, leveraging that, taking that budget and turning it into an investment. So it's basically, we call it switching your brand and your bank account. So instead of you going to the
Can you say that again, please? I didn't hear you. It's called what?
Switch your brand and shake your bank account, basically.
Okay, switch your brand and shake your bank account. Okay.
The same investment that you might take into any of your local stores and you buy your toothpaste or your soap and all of that, what we're saying is you can leverage that. You can leverage this opportunity and this platform, switch your brand to this platform, better quality products. And when you do that, you not only get paid, but when you build a team, you get paid a whole lot. It's something that we go into in some detail. And incidentally, for those of you who are interested, tomorrow we happen to have an info session. This is
good.
45-minute rundown about the platform, about the company, who they are, how it all works, why we're doing it, our reasons for doing it. We tell you a whole lot. So if you're free, 7:30 UK time tomorrow, which is 8:30 Nigerian time, and please do check, if you're somewhere else, do check what that is in your local time. We'd love to personally invite you to come and join us. It's on Zoom, like we are now. And in 45 minutes flat, we'll tell you everything you need to know. We will give you all the information you need to get started, to join our team. And guess what? You actually get your mentorship, your support, and your coaching, everything for free. Tell me where you get coaching for free, right? Coaching is very expensive these days, but we give you all of that for free. We handhold you to of succeeding on this platform, and a lot of people are doing it and doing it well. Joyce got me onto the platform, and I still thank her for it, because I didn't see it. I didn't see it until she put my attention to
I just want to add something before I forget. When Kemi was speaking, let's please remember what she said, because as a financial planner and as a ex-banker, that thing resonates so much. Protection, protecting your income, protecting yourself. It is so critical, especially us women. You find out that you're a woman, you're in so many places, you wear so many hats, you understand. But how prepared are you in taking care of yourself? How prepared are you in making sure you're protected on all levels? You understand, on all levels. So it's critical, it's important. We call it risk management or risk planning. That's where, everything Kemi talked about, like, sits, is a lot. And I'm in a business right now. I'm getting my certification, and the bedrock of that business is actually telling families, teaching families how to become financially independent. Mm-hmm. And one of the key things, the major platform we're standing on, is on protection, critical illness cover, and what have you. So you can reach out to me, not that I'm selling myself, but please, you can reach out to me also. You can get my details. You can reach out to me if you want to talk more about, joining me as a business partner to get this thing going. I can't tell you all of it here because this is a different platform.
I'm going to put all those details on Ibi
Yes.
Speaks. So listen, but listen, I think we have to do this again. And Clara has the details. If do you want to write your phone number? Clara has the details.
Okay.
Number 07983407343, or contact clara@yahoo.com. And listen, this is absolutely fantastic. And I think you have your program 7:30 tomorrow, yeah? Nigeria and London time, and 8:30 Nigerian time. And if you send me a flyer, I can also put it out, on my status and all of that. And I think I'm going to join to see what's that all about, because I saw you dengue on the, what is it called, on all over your social media.
Clara was dancing. I saw her.
Your dengue. I saw Joyce. Joyce was wearing one kind of hot knicker like this, and she was just there posing in front of the swimming pool. I said, "What's wrong with this girl?" So you want to let your secret out of the bag, Abi? So listen, girls. I mean, this has been, yes. Now she was posing. Then you post. All of them were wearing one kind t-shirt, just a pose like this. No, but guys, I think we have to find out and see, what it's all about, and see if we can also benefit from what they are benefiting from. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you who have been a part of this conversation. I am absolutely delighted. And someone says, come listen to us tomorrow. I will. And and listen, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe. Please subscribe, Ibi Nabi. But we're going to have a part 2 of this conversation. And in the part 2, what I want us to do is to really draw out, like, let's be specific, I want us to lead people's hands and show them precisely what they're going to do. And yes, it's been amazing. And next week, I have another very interesting conversation. And the topic is, we're going to add some Zoom in your vavavoom. And it's going to be on Sunday, not Tuesday. Sorry, not Saturday. It's going to be on Sunday. And you want to learn everything you need to learn. And listen, girls, when you make the money, you also have to take care of certain things. So I don't want you to miss it. Yeah. So this is fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. And I wonder if Kemi can do an article on this thing that she just said, so I can post it on my website. I think it's it's something that people should know about. I never knew about it. So guys, thank you very much. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. And I'm going to see you again next week, Sunday. This is going to be on Sunday. Next week's going to be on Sunday. So someone says fire. So much value. Thanks so much. It was knowledgeable, hot stuff, nice discussion. Hey, I don't know whether I should leave here or join here, but girls, I'm going to call you. So bye. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much, ladies. Awesome.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.
Oh, this is amazing.
Bye.
Okay, so bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye.